Hello everyone, this is Harsha HN, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Government Engineering College, Hassan. So let's continue with the third session of first module, that is Building Materials of Building Material and Construction subject 18 CV 34. So now let's discuss about requirements of good brick or qualities of good brick. The brick should be table molded, well burnt in kilns, copper colored, free from cracks, and with sharp and square edges. The color should be uniform and bright. The brick should be uniform in shape and should be of standard size. The standard size of the bricks is shown in the picture. The brick should give a clear metallic ringing sound when struck with each other. The bricks, when broken or fractured, should show a bright, homogeneous, and uniform, compact structure free from voids. The bricks should not absorb water more than 20% by weight for first class brick and 22% by weight for second class brick when soaked in water for 24 hours. The bricks should be sufficiently hard. No impression should be left on brick surface when it is scratched with the fingernail. The brick should not break into pieces when it is dropped on hard ground from a height of 1 meter. The brick should have low thermal conductivity and they should be soundproof. The bricks, when soaked in water for 24 hours, should not show deposits of white salts when allowed to dry in shade. No brick should have the crushing strength less than 3.5 newtons per mm square. Next, moving on to the tests on bricks. So out of that, first one, absorption test. A brick is taken and it is weighed dry. It is then immersed in water for a period of 16 hours. It is weighed again and the difference in weight indicates the amount of water absorbed by brick. It should not in any case exceed 20% by weight of dry brick. Second one, crushing strength. The crushing strength of a brick is found out by placing it in a compression testing machine. It is pressed till it breaks. As per the IS code 1077-1970, the minimum crushing strength should not be less than 3.5 Newton per mm square. The brick with crushing strength of about 7 to 14 Newton per mm square are graded as A, and those having greater than 14 Newton per mm square are graded as AA. Third one, hardness test. In this test, a scratch is made on brick surface and with the help of fingernail. If no impression is left on the surface, the brick is treated to be sufficiently hard. Fourth one, presence of soluble salts. The soluble salts, if present in bricks, will cause efflorescence on the surface of bricks. For finding out the presence of soluble salts in a brick, it is immersed in water for 24 hours. It is then taken out and allowed to dry in shade. The absence of gray or white deposits on the surface indicates the absence of soluble salts. If the white deposits cover about 10% of the surface, the efflorescence is said to be slight. And it is considered as moderate when the white deposits cover about 50% of the surface. If gray or white deposits are found to be more than 50% on the surface, then the efflorescence becomes heavy and it is treated as serious. Next test is shape and size. In this test, a brick is closely inspected. It should be of standard size and its shape should be truly rectangular with sharp edges. For this purpose, 20 bricks are selected at random and they are stacked lengthwise along the width and along the height. For good quality bricks, the result should be within the following permissible limits. If we are stacking 19 centimeter by 9 centimeter by 9 centimeter bricks in the following manner, then the permissible limit for length is 3680 mm to 3920 mm. For breadth, it is 1740 mm to 1860 mm. For height, it is 1740 mm to 1860 mm for 20 bricks, arranged lengthwise, breadthwise, and heightwise. Sixth one is soundness. In this test, the two bricks are taken and they are struck with each other. The brick should not break and a clear ringing sound should be produced. Seventh one, structure. A brick is broken and structure is examined. It should be homogeneous, compact, and free from any defects such as holes, lumps, etc. Next, moving on to the classification of bricks. The bricks can be broadly classified into two categories as follows. The unburnt or sun-dried bricks. With the help of heat received from sun after the process of molding, the bricks can only be used in the construction of temporary and cheap structures. Such bricks should not be used at places where they are exposed to heavy rains. Second one is the bricks used in construction field, which are burnt bricks, and they are classified into following four categories. That is, first one, first class bricks. These bricks are table molded and are of standard shape and they are burnt in kilns. The surface and edges of the bricks are sharp, square, smooth, and straight. They satisfy the qualities of good bricks, which are mentioned earlier. These bricks are used for superior work of permanent nature. Second class bricks. These bricks are ground molded and they are burnt in kilns. The surface of these bricks is somewhat rough and shape is also straightly irregular. These bricks may have hair cracks and their edges may not be sharp and uniform. These bricks are commonly used at places where brickwork is to be provided with a coat of plaster. Next one is third class bricks. These bricks are ground molded and they are burnt in clamps. These bricks are not hard and they have rough surface with irregular and distorted edges. These bricks give dull sound when struck with each other. They are used for unimportant works, temporary structures, and at places where rainfall is not heavy. Next, finally, fourth class bricks. These are overburnt bricks with irregular shape and dark colored. These bricks are used as aggregate for concrete in foundation, floors, roads, etc. Because of the fact that overburnt bricks have a compact structure and their seams to be stronger than first class bricks. So with this, we'll end the session over here.